Hi, this is Irish Eyes True Crime.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Irish Eyes True Crime. Today I want to give you an update on the timeline and the witness statements, as further information was released after. And even at that, I'd say we're not even hearing the whole story and all the witness statements. And I'd say several things has been omitted from the timeline. Now, I think that it's no harm that I went back over this because there's several things now I'm after noticing since going back over this, and some things are quite shocking. So I'm hoping you'll stick it out for the whole video. Now, before I start, I want to show you a couple of clips to show you how short the distance is on allotment lane and from the bottom of allotment lane to where the bench is, because it is a very short distance. Okay, so let's get stuck into the timeline. Nicola leaves her home at 8:26 a.m., captured on CCTV. At 8:33 a.m., Richard Fife is captured on CCTV on the top of Allotment Lane. He's seen a man dressed in black acting suspicious on the morning that Nicola disappeared while walking his dog. Now, I wondered, was this the same account that we had heard from the police when they were looking for the two fishermen? So I went back over my video on the strange fisherman and the shabby red van. A witness who had seen two men with fishing rods the day before Nicola disappeared acting strangely, and one of them he seen the next day acting strange again. He didn't find out about Nicola's disappearance until the Sunday, as he was away at the weekend, so he contacted the police on Monday, but the police didn't get back to him for 9 days. He told the Sun media that he passes by there every morning going to work, and he saw them around 7:45. Now, this is a different time frame than what Richard Fife does be walking his dog. So it's making me think that these are another account, another witness statement that has been omitted from the inquest. I also wondered, would Richard Fife be bringing his dog to work? Let's say these are other strange men. We don't actually know where they were standing. As the witness says, it was close to where Nicola took her daily walks. Police then sought information from local angling clubs to see who could be ticketed to fish in the area on that day. Fishermen from the area rejected claims that these men were fishermen. So back to Richard Fife, he was captured at the top of Allotment Lane at 8:33 a.m. At 8:34 a.m. and 25 seconds, Richard Fife is captured midway on CCTV on Allotment Lane. At 8:34 a.m. and 33 seconds, Nicola's phone pings in the area around the school. Between 8:34 a.m. and 33 seconds and 8:41 a.m. and 38 seconds, two witnesses said they seen Nicola at the school. It was Claire Cheshire and Kay Kiernan. At 8:41 a.m., David Hall passes Nicola on the bridge. Also at the same time, her phone pings in the proximity of the bridge. At 8:42 a.m. and 50 seconds, Nicola's phone showed her off the main road and onto the river path. Between 8:46 a.m. and 28 seconds and 8:46 a.m. and 31 seconds, Nicola's phone pings 4 times in the location near the bench. At 8:48 a.m. and 54 seconds, Christine Bowman is captured on the middle camera on Allotment Lane, heading down towards the bottom of Allotment Lane. Meanwhile, Richard Fife is walking back towards the gate and he spots Nicola entering the field, and she turns left and Nicola is holding the phone out in front of her. Richard and Nicola's dogs interacted and ran over to each other. Now, I have something to say about this. Richard states that Nicola came through the gate and went and turned to the left. She never went near the bench. She had the phone already out in front of her and Willow was running around. So that means Willow's harness was taken off before they entered the field. The exact statements that came from Paul and from their friend Tilly, that she takes the harness off before she enters the field and puts the harness back on at the gate when they're ready to leave the field. So I thought about, would she bring the harness and a lead, clumpy things that would be awkward while you're holding a phone out in front of you and trying to email and message people. Like, it seems unlikely that she would bring the lead and harness around with her. So that means she left them at the gate because she didn't go near the bench, and Willow already had them off when they were coming in through the gate. So that means she left them at the gate. So I definitely think the harness was put where it was as a decoy. Exactly what Peter Fallon had said all along. I don't think Nicola was near the water when whatever happened to her happened. So at 8:48 a.m. and 50 seconds, Nicola's phone pinged left of the lower field. Richard Fife has left the field and he spots Christine Bowman at the bottom of allotment lane. At 8:52 a.m. and 53 seconds, Nicola receives a WhatsApp message from Louise, her sister, regarding plans for a spa day and afternoon tea for the 18th. I'm assuming that's for the day before Nicola's body is found. At 8:54 a.m. and 27 seconds, Richard Fife is captured on the middle camera heading up allotment lane. At 8:53 a.m. and 36 seconds, Nicola sends an email to her boss Ben at Exclusively Mortgages regarding a mortgage client. Around 8:55 a.m., Claire Chesham walks into the field. She sees Nicola through the gap between the lower and upper field, and Claire had previously seen Nicola at the school. At 8:55 a.m. and 36 seconds, Nicola's location data shows her across on the other side of the upper field. At 8:59 a.m. and 38 seconds, Nicola sends a Facebook message to Lucy Masella, arranging a kids' play date. She's in the area of the very top of the upper field. Around 9 a.m, Christine Bowman is still in the area around the bottom of allotment lane somewhere. At 9:01 a.m, Nicola signs into her work team's call, still in the top upper field. At 9:08 a.m. and 31 seconds, Christine Bowman is captured on CCTV moving from the direction of the field to allotment lane. New CCTV picture, possible the caravan park. Claire Chesham continues walking and Nicola is seen doing a second loop of the very top of the upper field. This is the very last confirmed sighting of Nicola. Around 9:15, Claire Chesham goes to leave the field. At 9:18 a.m. and 02 seconds, Claire is onto the river path and towards allotment lane. Claire spots Penny Fletcher pottering in her shed. Now for the next account, there's no eyewitnesses. It's all based on data. So around this time, there's movement from the top field. Fitbit movement 0.2 kilometers between 9:15 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. 273 steps. Now, as I said in my previous video regarding the Fitbit, based on reviews, there's a possibility the Fitbit might not have recorded steps after 9:30, but there could have been. But also, there could have been more steps than the 273, as sometimes they count more steps. iOS data shows 140M covered between 9:14 a.m. and 31 seconds and 9:18 a.m. and 20 seconds. Between 9:18 a.m. and 01 seconds and 9:18 a.m. and 11 seconds, the volume and side buttons were pressed on the phone, lasting for around 10 seconds trying to press them. Now that could have been Nicola trying to do an emergency call, as Pandora's Box explained in her video. But it also could have been that someone snatched her phone out of her hand and was trying to end the call but didn't know how to. It's strange either way that all those buttons were pressed. At 9:18 a.m. and 41 seconds, Nicola receives a WhatsApp message from Tosh. We know that is her sister Louise's nickname. Louise said Nicola didn't open the message, but she also didn't reply to the earlier message. And we know that Nicola messaged twice after she had received Louise's first message, so it's possible she just didn't want to talk to her. At 9:20 a.m. and 36 seconds, Claire Chesham is at the top of allotment lane captured on CCTV. Between 9:20 a.m. and 39 seconds and 9:20 a.m. and 42 seconds, 3 handset pings are in the area around the bench. It states there's no further handset location data until 9:30 a.m. and 37 seconds, which is different to the general pattern of recorded activity up to this point of day. So which is it? No data or some data, and what data? So earlier on, I was telling you that Nicola's phone, when she entered the field, pinged in the area around the bench 4 times. Well, DC Greenhalgh gave the varying levels of accuracy, most accurate being 7.6 meters, that's 24 foot. You see, they can't say with accuracy that that phone was on the bench before Penny Fletcher had found it. They also can't say with accuracy that it was Nicola that actually brought the phone down to the bench. They also can't say with accuracy that the Fitbit was there at the bench, as the Fitbit doesn't automatically connect to GPS. You actually have to put it into maps and set it up to track your route. Now, as I said earlier, Richard Fife had seen Nicola coming into the field and she already had Willow's harness off and she went straight to the left. She never went near the bench at all. So, and I think that she didn't bring the harness with her, so she obviously left it at the gate. And we know the police saying that the 4 pings when she came into the field were around the bench, but yet Richard Fife seen her going off to the left. She never went near the bench. So, like, they could have just said Kissing Gate or Lower Field, but why mention the bench even though she never went near the bench? And also, as I said earlier, her partner Paul and her friend Tilly said that Nicola takes the harness off at the gate before they enter the field. And they put the harness on at the gate before they're ready to leave. So let's say the accuracy of the GPS is right and they give it up to 24 foot. How did they know that Nikki went to the bench when she could have been at the gate or the far side of the gate on the pathway? They literally make it up as they go. And if you don't believe that something happened between Rowan Water and Allotment Lane to Nicola by now, I don't know what hope there is for people. Like, why would Nicola change a habit she had for years and go and sit on the bench beside the river, get back up off the bench, go behind the bench up to the kissing gate, collect the harness and lead, bring them down to the edge of the river and put them on Willow and have an accident in the river? Okay, so moving on. At 9:23 a.m. and 5 seconds, Penny is heard shouting Tess on CCTV from Allotment Lane. It doesn't state that she was seen on the CCTV, just that she was heard on the CCTV, and no pictures were produced. Penny Fletcher then walks through the new gate on Allotment Lane to the riverside, walking through an area she calls the Hughes. Penny's house is very close to the bench, extremely close. I don't know why she would take that route, an awkward route, and to get over the stile if she was in a hurry for an appointment. I was also wondering if her CCTV was able to pick her up shouting Tess. Did the police also check later times to see if they heard a scream? Do we actually know that Penny really went through the Hughes? Like, was there GPS tracking done there? And if Penny was actually walking through the Hughes, how did she not see this floating body that the police reckon were floating down the river? 9:33 a.m. Penny arrives at the stile and finds Willow loose and the phone on the bench with the screen lit up, still on a Teams call. She had to tie her own dog up and then go and tie Willow up. She said she saw the harness on the ground in the grass, between the bench and the river's edge. Location data shows Nicola's phone in this area at 9:33 a.m. and 28 seconds. Well, 24 foot of it anyway. And does that mean that Penny was handling the phone, either picking up the phone and putting it on the bench or pressing any buttons? I can't see anywhere where there was photographic evidence from the police of the area around the bench and the harness on the ground and the whole scene. I'm guessing they didn't take any photographic evidence. At 9:35 a.m., Keith Barlow has a brief conversation with Penny, who is with Willow and then returns to Rowanwater. This is the 70-year-old man that Penny seen coming from the brick building. They gave no information of what time Keith Barlow left Rowanwater, how long he was in the field. Was he in the field at the same time as Nicola disappeared? Between 9:36 a.m. and 9:55 a.m., Helen O'Neill from the Oaks heard a female scream coming from between Allotment Lane and the bridge. In the field is Penny Fletcher and Keith Barlow. I showed you at the beginning of the video how short a distance it is where Helen O'Neill lives on Allotment Lane. Well, on the right-hand side of Allotment Lane in those houses. Then all around 9:47, all this happened. Penny Fletcher is back home. She calls the vet. She doesn't have any luck with the vet. Then she tries to ring the other number, which is Nicola's, on the dog tag, but gets it wrong. Penny then calls Susan Jones on her landline to pass a message to Roger, her husband. No times are given about any of these calls. At this stage, Roger is meant to have been on the river path. No CCTV given. A man called Barry Jobson is in the area of the Hughes. No explanation is given. He just appears as quickly as Nicola disappears. He sees Ron and walks towards the bench. Barry is grooming his dog and doesn't enter the field. So weird. We get a time now for Keith Barlow arriving back to Rowanwater, and we get CCTV of him back at Rowanwater. 9:59 a.m. Keith Barlow returns to Rowanwater via the gate. 9:50 a.m. Veronica Clayson at the tennis club hears a woman scream and thinks it's from behind the church in that direction. It's possible both screams were heard at the same time, as one was between 9:36 and 9:55 and the other was at 9:50. So the second one could have been at 9:50 as well. At 4 minutes past 10 a.m., Penny calls her daughter-in-law Anne-Marie Fletcher. Now we get a time for Barry Jobson. 10:07 a.m. and 10 seconds. Barry Jobson returns the way he came on CCTV in the middle of allotment lane. At 10:10 a.m., Roger Jones reaches the bench and sees the dog tied to it. I thought you already met Barry Jobson at the bench. Roger and Barry had already met at the bench. Now at 10 past 10, Roger Jones reaches the bench and sees the dog tied to it and the phone and harness also on the bench. I really think they're trying to confuse us. So if Roger turns up and the harness is on the bench with the phone, that means Penny must have picked it up, because she's the only one that was there beforehand, because she only spoke to Keith Barlow, so it's not like he picked it up, so it had to have been Penny picked it up. So way to go if it was a crime scene, Penny, going picking up everything. At 10:12 a.m., Roger Jones makes a call to his wife Susan, who tells him she had heard about the dog and the phone already from Penny Fletcher. At 10:15, Roger Jones continues his walk around the field, and Willow was visible to him at all times. Also at 10:15, Norma Kershaw reaches the gate. She said she can see Willow by the bench, but doesn't enter the field, and doesn't see Rog. She remains here for a couple of minutes. Why? Why would she be standing there like that, just looking in? Why didn't she enter? Why would you be standing there at a gate? And where's Roger? Roger said he never took his eye off Willow. And where is he? 'Cause this woman can't see him. Maybe Roger's gone to the toilet over there. 10:19 a.m. Penny Fletcher leaves Allotment Lane to attend an appointment, having made people aware of Willow being by the bench before she left. She was seen on home CCTV. 10:20 a.m. Roger Jones continues his walk around the field. Also at 10:20 a.m., Norma Kershaw reaches Allotment Lane and meets Susan Jones, who is coming to assist Roger and Willow. 10:30 a.m. Norma Kershaw and Susan Jones reach the bench. Also at 10:30 a.m., Roger Jones is back at the bench with Willow. At 10:32 a.m. and 13 seconds, from this time the number of location readings on Nicola's phone increases, indicating the device is being handled and could be similar patterns as data from Nicola's phone at 9:20. 10:32 a.m. and 43 seconds, the works team call that was connected ends. At 10:40 a.m., Roger Jones, Susan Jones, and Norma Kershaw walk from the bench up Allotment Lane. Susan Jones has put Willow in the harness. Also between 10:40 and 10:47, Paul Ansell tries to ring Nicola's phone 6 times. And after 6 fails, he sends her a WhatsApp message. Are you lost? At 10:50 a.m., Anne-Marie Fletcher, Penny's daughter-in-law, who she called at 10:04 a.m., came out of her house and speaks to Roger and Susan Jones and Norma Kershaw. Anne-Marie recognises the dog as being Nicola's and calls the school. Why didn't she check when Penny called at 10:04? She was only a short distance away. And no police called by anybody. At 10:54 a.m, a call from St. Michael's School to Paul Ansell, taken 2 minutes and 5 seconds. At the end of the call, Paul is getting into a car at home and setting off to St. Michael's. This was at 10:56 on CCTV ring doorbell. At 10:57 a.m. and 25 seconds, a call from Paul Ansell to Amory Fletcher, lasting 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Why didn't he call the police first? And how was he able to ring Amory Fletcher if she hadn't even his number? Paul said to Amory on the phone that Nicola was struggling. Why would he say that? And if he thought that, why call Amory before the police? At 11 a.m, Roger and Susan Jones and Amory go back to the bench. At 11 a.m. and 39 seconds, Paul Ansell calls 999, lasting 9 minutes and 10 seconds. Finally, help is called. At 10 a.m, Paul Ansell arrives at the bench and meets Amory Fletcher, Roger and Susan Jones, who have Willow and Nicola's phone. So it looks like Nicola disappeared between the last sighting at 9:10 at Rowan Water to whenever Penny arrived at the bench. Could someone in the area have caused her harm? I really believe so. If you look back on my latest video, I believe Nicola's time of death is wrong. What else could the police be wrong about? So I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll probably be asleep by the time you see this because I'm so tired, and I won't be able to comment back on it because I'll be flat out in the bed. My head will be stuck to the pillow. So goodbye for now. Be safe, be happy. Until next time. Oh, I nearly forgot. Big shout out to Curtis. I used Curtis' video on it. I'm so happy that we had Curtis' video footage. Where would we be without it? So hopefully he doesn't mind me using it. It's for the greater cause. And if you could, please, could you go over to Curtis' channel and maybe buy him a coffee or slip him something into PayPal for our laptop? Because I'd love to, at some stage, go on the laptop on videos with Curtis and Sammy. Thanks, guys. Everything in this video is fair use. Woo!